NAMPO, the largest agricultural expo in the country, is about to end today following a week-long activities at Bothaville in the Free State. The annual event attracts visitors from all over the country and from neighbouring countries too, who are involved in agriculture, to learn about the latest agricultural developments. SABC reporter Ishmael Modiba is there for us.
A week-long agricultural expo that is taking place at NAMPO Park in Bothaville in the Free State is taking shape, as we have seen that visitors have come from far to be part of this expo, where they are exposed to a number of agricultural implements and the latest technology. But what is interesting about this year's expo is that we have seen the surprise visit by President Cyril Ramaphosa on Tuesday this week, as well as on Wednesday the visit by the Deputy President Paul Mashatile and other ministers. But the expo, one can say that NAMPO will be short of its the most regular visitor, with Mr. John Steenhuisen, the Minister of Agriculture, who make it a point that every year he's part and parcel of this expo. Minister, let's speak about your involvement and you being here at every year. What is so special and what that entices you to be part of the expo each and every year?
Well, I think it's a huge opportunity. This is the largest agricultural show in the Southern Hemisphere, and certainly the largest one in South Africa. And it gives us an ability as lawmakers and as legislators to be interacting with the entire agricultural sector, from your red meat sector to your grains to those big companies, the seed companies, etc., to understand from them what they need from government and legislators and policymakers to ensure that the agricultural sector can grow. Food security is right at the top of the agenda now of things like the G20, the G7, the African Union and the like. And I think agriculture is now starting to be seen as its rightful importance in the social fabric, in the health of a nation. And I think that is why we've seen such an unmitigated presence of senior people here. And I certainly am really delighted the President and Deputy President and other ministers have been here, because we need to work together as government to be able to make this a sector that can grow and help us to create economic growth and jobs.
Food production that you spoke about, it's critical to us as South Africans, and we do export a lot of products, like for instance your poultry, your citrus and our wines. With this increase in tariffs, is it not going to harm us as the sector, as the country that exports these goods?
Yes, of course. And this new tariff regime proposed by the United States of 30% would be incredibly harmful, but we luckily have seen a pause for 90 days on that, which is allowing us to continue the way in which we were before. And in this interim, the government has not been sitting on its laurels. We've been working very clearly under the stewardship of Minister Parks Tau, the Minister of Trade, Industry and Cooperation, with the Agricultural Ministry, with the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, with the Ministry of International Relations and the Ministry in the Presidency, to put together a package deal that we'll be able to go and offer the Americans in order to ensure that we can retain a fair market access to the American market. Our exposure on the agricultural side to the United States is around 7% of our exports globally, but very concentrated in sectors like citrus, table grapes, wine and nuts. And so it remains a very important market for us. And so we're committed to putting a deal with the Americans that would see us retaining access to the American market.
And just one last question. The South Africans who left the country as invitation that they got from the American president, as the department, your take on that?
Well, it's not my choice to decide where individuals decide to live and take their families. That's their personal choice. My choice is to stay in South Africa, and I've been very impressed that almost every single farmer I've spoken to has indicated that they're committed to South Africa and staying here. And I think that our best days in agriculture lie ahead for us here in South Africa, and I'm committed as the Minister to making sure that we build an environment in which our farmers, our farm workers are safe, are able to prosper and are able to contribute to food security. Those who've left are no longer my responsibility or the responsibility of the South African government. The people who've remained are my key responsibility and priority, and that's what I'm going to be working for every single day as long as I'm Minister of Agriculture, to ensure that we are looking out for them and their interests here in South Africa as they contribute to the growth and prosperity of our country as well as our food security.
Thank you very much, Minister.
Thank you very, very much.
Well, that is the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. John Steenhuisen, outlining some of the challenges that the country is going through, and that we have seen on Sunday that 49 South Africans have left the country on the invitation of the American President Donald Trump, where they went to settle in the United States. But the minister saying it's out of his control. But we know that the South African delegation that will be led by President Cyril Ramaphosa is going to United States of America for deliberation to see how they resolve this matter. As we know that a lot has been said about South Africans, the South African farmers, that there's so much genocide, they are not safe, and we know that there is none of that.